Hello, today we're going to be doing a repair on an iPhone 6s Plus rear camera. So I'll go through the tools that you'll need for this. You'll need your isostomer to open up the frame, get behind some stuff. You'll need your pencil lobe screwdriver for the bottom two screws. You'll need your standard Phillips screwdriver for the screws inside. You'll need some tweezers for popping out some connectors or removing the adhesive from the frame. And you'll need your spudger, which is just handy at popping out connectors. So we'll use that. You also need your place to put the screws. Obviously you can use a little tray, pretty much anything where you can put screws in, just so you can put them in the same order you took them out the phone. Probably one of the best things to use is a magnetic mat, because you can write on it as well. Right, so I'll show you first off what the camera is doing and why we're replacing it. I'm just going to move it out of the screen just so I can get to that point. Right, so there we go. I'll focus on something. There we go. See how the camera is just jittering? So that's what we're replacing it for. So I'll put a new camera in there and it'll be nice and focused again. Right, so obviously first off, what you want to do is you want to turn off the phone. So turn it off. Then we'll start opening it up. So first off, you start with your pencil lobe screwdriver. We'll take out the two screws on the bottom. And then what you'll need to do is you'll need to open up the device. So use your isostomer. And you just want to gently get in to the bottom. And don't go in too far, because you could end up breaking the home button. So you just want to get in gently and just kind of move it along, just to break the adhesive that's holding the screen to the frame. So once you've kind of broken it on the sides, kind of lift it up a little bit just so you can get a nail in there, and then go down the sides. So we go all the way down the sides, and we'll do the exact same thing with the other side. There we go. So once you get both sides up, you can pretty much just open it up, goes to the top. And there we go, so you've got the inside of the phone. So first off, on every repair, you want to disconnect the battery. So we'll take out these two screws where the battery connector is in, and we'll take off the little plate. You want to then pop up the battery connector, which you can do with your nails, or you can use the spudger to just get behind it and pop it up. If you are using the spudger, just be very careful for any chips around, so you just want to gently go in and pop it up. Right, so once the battery is disconnected, we'll then take off the screen itself. So you've got the plate with 5 screws on it. You want to remove all 5 of those screws. And with these, you want to put them in the exact same order that you took them out. You want to put them in your little tray on your magnetic mat in the same order you took them out, just so you can put them back in the same place. Because if you put one of these screws wrong, they pretty much, most of them are different sizes. If you put one that's too long into one that has a short screw hole, you could end up doing a thing called long screw damage, which the screw pretty much goes into the main board and it could kill the phone. Right, so once you've done that, you want to then pop up, there's 3 connectors over here. Just want to pop them up one by one. So I normally start with the top one and then move on to the other 2. So once that's popped off, you got your screen off. We'll put that to one side for now. And then we'll need to take out the rear camera. So the rear camera sits there. So it's pretty much held on by 2 screws. You've got 1 screw there, and then 1 screw under this little bit of tape at the bottom, right under there. So you want to undo those 2 screws. And then we'll need to take off this little plate that sits over the top of it. Sometimes that little plate does get stuck on a little cable that sits under here. If it does, you need something like tweezers, just so you can separate the two. It's only by a small bit of adhesive, so just kind of putting your tweezers in there and just wiggling around will make it break it free. Obviously you don't want to just end up ripping it, because you will end up ripping that cable. So that's off. So now we can disconnect the rear camera and remove it. So just one little connector pops up, and then just get your nail on the edge and lift it up. Obviously if you don't have any nails or anything like that, you can get your little spudger and just go in and pull it up like that. So that's the rear camera out. So what we'll do is we'll get the new rear camera. Sometimes the rear camera comes with this little cover over it, so you can just remove that. You want to make sure that lens is clean in there. Make sure there's no kind of dirt in there or any finger marks. And then you want to pop that camera in place. Obviously this flex will be straight, so you just kind of want to bend it a little bit just so you can get the camera connector to sit in line pretty much. There we go. Once that's connected, we'll then screw the plate back over. So make sure it goes under this little tape. Like so. And then we'll just put the screws back into place. So once you've done one of them, you can just put the other one over it. Like so. And then push that tape back into place. There we go. So that's the rear camera installed. So what we'll do now is we'll put some new adhesive for the screen. So you want to take off the old adhesive. So I generally use tweezers for this. You can use like a flat little tool just to pick up all the adhesive, but obviously as you're going around, be very careful, try not to slip, just go very slowly, because I mean if you do slip you can end up catching the board and doing more damage. But we'll just go around and remove all this adhesive. we go. So that's all the adhesive removed. So now we add the new layer of adhesive. So you want to peel the one part blue off, and then it pretty much only goes one way, so you just need to kind of find the cutout for the camera. If not, at the bottom here, it'll generally have kind of like a same as the frame. So you just want to kind of find that bit. But once you do, just put in one corner first, and then make sure it lines up to the other corner, and it'll pretty much fall in flush. Once you've put it in, just go around with the tool again over the top of it, just to make sure the adhesive takes to the actual frame itself, because you don't want to end up pulling off this blue cover and it pulls up some of the adhesive with it. Alright, so once that's done, sometimes some of the adhesive can go on the screen itself, so you just want to remove it off the actual screen itself. You want pretty much no adhesive around the screen or the frame. There we go, that's all off. So now we'll need to put down the screen, the screen on the actual device. So generally they've got little tabs where you can pull, but this one doesn't have it, so I just grab it from anywhere you can kind of get a hold on it, just so you can lift it up. And what you want to do is just go slowly peeling this off, just in case any adhesive comes up with it. There we go. Right. So once that's all done, we get the screen again. So to put the screen down, we've got 3 connectors. You just want to pop down each connector at a time. So start with the last one, and then just pretty much let them fall down and do each one individually. There we go. So now we need to screw the shield back over them. So put the shield on and just get the bottom screws to line up. And then we'll start with the top right screw. And like I said, make sure the screws are in the exact same place that you took them out, or else you could cause more problems. We'll just go in one by one, just put all the screws in. With the screen as well, you don't want to hold it further than a 90-degree angle. There we go, so that's that shield in. So now you can pop the battery connector back in and screw that in place. There we go. So once that's all screwed in and all done, for the screen, you kind of want to push it in top, push it from the bottom up, just make sure it's all nice and flush, and then you can go around the sides and just slowly push it in. If you feel any point you need to put a little bit more force on it to push it down, kind of stop and look as to what's holding it back and why it's not going down easily, because it should go down pretty straightforward. Right, so once the screen's all nice and flush down, you want to screw the pentalobe screws back in place at the bottom. There we go. So we'll turn that on and we'll show you what the camera's like after replacing it. So I'll just put this code in and get it to the camera a bit. So as you can see, the camera is not shaking anymore, and it's perfectly fine. So there we go. That was camera replacement iPhone 6s Plus. Nice and straightforward and pretty easy repair to do. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching.